everyone, my name is Chelsea. Welcome to Little Mountain Ranch. This is an impromptu video. I'm actually in the middle of filming another video right now, but I came out to my greenhouse and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this or not, but if you listen, you'll be able to hear it. One of my hives is swarming right now. So there are thousands and thousands of bees flying in the air, and I'm trying to watch and see where they're going to go and where they're going to land. Because you can see they're starting to move up in a cloud this way. There's literally a bajillion bees flying around just right this spot right now. I did a split on this hive 7 days ago hoping to avoid this happening, but apparently I did not avoid this happening, and now it's happening. So what we're going to try to do is watch and see if we can't find where these bees are going to land, because if we can, they're flying around me. I'm just going to stand very still. There we go. We're going to try to see if we can find where they land, because if we can, we are going to be able to catch this swarm, and then we'll be able to put it into another box, and we'll actually end up, can you see them? Right here, look. They're all moving in like a cloud. Anyway, ooh, one just bounced off my arm. Anyway, what we're gonna try to do is catch them, and I feel like they might be going over to a tree over there. Hopefully they're not too high. That's the biggest thing. This is only my second swarm I think I've ever had on my property before. But the whole entire cloud of bees now has moved away from the hive. Ooh! I'm still a little gun shy after being stung. The good news is that bees that are swarming have usually engorged themselves with honey, and they have a difficult time stinging. Plus they're really focused on following. Oh, they are going up to that tree. Dan, look! Okay, guys, come see this. Okay, friends, I was right. So all the bees are starting to swarm around this tree right here. And I would not be surprised actually, because this tree is hollow. There was an old bee's nest in there, or wasp nest, a few years ago, but I wouldn't be surprised if they decided that they were going to try to inhabit this tree. Oh, this is so wild. Can you guys see all those thousands of bees right behind me? Dan, you gotta come see this. This is the coolest thing. Oh my goodness. Wow. What? Yeah, now they're gonna form a clump around the queen, and then I'll be able to catch them. As long as they don't go and decide they're gonna go way up there. Wow, this is pretty wild to be able to catch this like this, honestly. This is so lucky, hun, that I came out when I did, because I would never have caught them. I'm just hoping they're not like way, 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 way up in that tree. Okay, so what happens now, from what I understand, is the queen has gone here, and all of the bees are going to go and clump around her. And then the scout bees are going to go out. They've probably already done their searching right now for where the hive is actually going to go. And then they're going to go get the clump basically and give them directions on where the hive is going to be. Isn't that amazing? But they're definitely about to swarm right onto this tree. So that is super good news. Okay, we found where they're clumping. Okay, can you guys see that? So that's where all the bees are collecting, which could not be a better spot. That is perfect. So I'm gonna go get suited up and get everything that I need to catch this swarm. We'll wait till they all land there, and this is a huge swarm, holy cow. And then we will go catch them. So there is our swarm right there, which just could not be more perfect. We're gonna bring the backhoe in right here and put them in that box. might be asking yourself if I'm scared. Yeah. But fortunately, bees that are swarming like this are generally quite docile and gentle. So what I am waiting for is for these bees that keep swarming back up on this spot, because the queen has put a pheromone there. That's what's attracting all the bees, but the queen is now in this box. So these bees just have to clue in that she's in this box. And once they get that figured, it looks pretty cool because it's almost like they start marching into the box. So that's the whole goal here. But here, I'll let you look close up again. And lots of bees flying around, but tons of bees down here going into the box. So I think it's working. So I'm gonna jump out of here and see if we can't get these bees into this box. I want to shut the tractor off though, because the exhaust is blowing right over here. Okay, that could not have gone better. So now if I got the queen in there, which I'm pretty sure I did because I got the majority of the bees in the box, what should happen is all the bees should go fly to that box. So we're going to put the camera on it and so that you guys can watch it. So now all these bees that are up here, they have to get the message that the queen is down in this box, which the reason why I think that that's the case is because, can you see how some of those bees are pointing their butts out and they're fanning their wings like that? What they're doing is they're setting up a pheromone to let the other bees know that this is where the queen is. So we just have to wait and see if this clump will disperse and those bees will end up down in this box. I think this is gonna work great. There's so many bees in there. I'd rather just have it over where it's all fenced right by the apiary, but they have to stay here till tonight anyway. So we have to wait for all the bees to go in. But that went pretty well. I'm gonna slow this down so that you guys can see them all flapping their wings, pointing their bums up, and letting everybody know that this is where our queen is. This looks so cool. As long as they decide this is where they won't mind staying here. That's normal. That's totally normal. That happens every time. They're just confused because she marked that spot. But these guys all know that she's in here. They're all doing it all around the side. Can you guys see that? Can you see them all flapping there? Oh, honestly, bees are the coolest. Okay, friends, so it is around 7 o'clock in the evening. We've waited until most of the forager bees have come back to the hives to move our hive over here. Fortunately, all the bees stayed, so that's fantastic. That means they are setting up shop in that box, which is great news. This is the hive that they came out of, but I still see lots of bees coming in and out of this hive. So that's good news. My biggest concern is I did a split on this hive early in the spring. The split went fantastic. That hive's doing really well. Then I did another split on that same hive after talking to some of my bee mentors 6 days ago. Seemed to go pretty well. And then the same hive swarmed. So we're up to 4 hives out of 1 hive. So I did contact Tim, who's one of my bee mentor guys, who's a fantastic beekeeper, just to ask him what I should do, whether I should potentially put 2 of these hives together or whatever. I'm not really sure. So we'll wait to hear back from him before I make any decisions. But right now we're just going to get that one swarm moved over and set up. And I also want to check the hive that I did the split on and make sure that they took the queen that I put in there. So I don't want to go into the hive and actually break everything apart right now because everybody's home. In the evening, all the bees come home and hang out in the hive for the night. I'm going to give it another week before I go in and see if the queen is actually laying her eggs. I don't want to disrupt everything at this point, but It looks good. There's lots of bees in there, and well, not lots of bees, but quite a few. I gave them 2 frames of brood when I did this split. So those are little baby bees. Capped brood is what I put in there for those beekeepers out there. I put the capped brood in there, and I also put a couple of frames of honey in there as well. So I'm going to keep feeding them for the next couple of weeks until they get established, but I think this hive's going to be okay, especially because we're early enough. They have 2 months yet of really good nectar flow to pack in enough honey for the winter. My plan this year is I have a ton of honey already in this big hive over there. Is I'm just going to make sure that everybody has the amount of honey that they need for the winter, and I'm probably not going to take any honey off this year. The bees dancing around me now, but for the most part my bees are really gentle. Last week was an exception when I went in and did the split on the hive. They were not happy with me, but for the most part my bees are actually really gentle. This is the split that I did. So I've just added the second box. They filled up the first box, and I've just added the second box in the last couple of weeks, and they are also looking fantastic. So this leaves me with, what should I do? Because there are a lot of bees in that swarm. Definitely a lot more than are in the split over here. I'm right in the flight path. Let me get out of the way. This is where the bees come and go from the hives, but a lot more than are in this hive. So we'll see what Tim says about what I should do. If anyone else has any advice, any other beekeepers out there, definitely let me know. But pretty happy with my little apiary now at this point. So Dan is going to bring over the hive. I'm just going to go over there and stuff some hay in the front so that they can't all come out. And then I'm going to get that one set up in behind this one, but facing this way. Okay, so I had shoved a bunch of grass in there just so that they couldn't fly around while we were moving it, but I've just opened it up just a little bit so that whatever forager bees are out there right now might be able to find their way back to this hive. Oh my gosh, that was intense, but very exciting. I'm pretty happy about that. And it was a pretty heavy box, so it was a very good size swarm, as you saw, so that is great. So my plan now is that I am going to fill the gap, because you saw, I don't know if you saw this, but there was a gap where I had 3 frames out so that I had somewhere to shake the bees into. So I need to fill that gap up with some new frames, and then I'll be feeding this swarm until they can start to build up some reserves. And I just kind of don't want to disrupt anybody right now because I just want everybody to settle in. But what I could also potentially do is take a couple of frames of honey. You guys will have to tell me, I'll ask Tim about this too, but a couple frames of honey from my big strong hive and put them in there so that they have some reserves to get going. But either way, I'll definitely feed them, and I'll also feed, oh, hi Simon, and I'll also feed my split, depending on what Tim says I should do or what feedback I hear from you guys around that, whether I should incorporate those bees in with this. I'm not sure, because now they all have their own queens. So I don't know what to do. But either way, this is incredibly exciting to me to see my apiary go from 1 hive to right now 5. And yeah, that feels pretty good. I absolutely love bees. And if I didn't share this earlier on in the video, I was absolutely terrified of bees my whole life. My mom and I were just talking about this yesterday. Just absolutely sheer terror. And when I started beekeeping, I did it as a way to overcome that fear. And it took a few years for me to get over my fear of bees, but I'm not actually afraid of bees anymore. Besides getting stung and attacked a little bit last week, definitely got my heart rate going and reinstilled that fear in me a little bit. I'm happy to say though that has now dissipated, and I'm feeling really good about being around my bees again. So we'll see how everything goes tomorrow. I'll keep you updated with the whole progress of the apiary, and all of that. I think I shared this in a couple videos. I don't share a lot about beekeeping here on my channel because even though I feel like I've been doing it for a long time, I have not been overly successful at overwintering bees here. So I don't feel qualified to share a lot of educational content when it comes to beekeeping. But today was just too good to pass up. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I know that it was a short video, but I am exhausted now. The video that you saw before this video, it was actually the same day as this, so I'm doing a big canning day and I'm just winding up the canning right now. I have the last jars to come out of the canner and then I'm gonna hit the hay because I am very tired. I hope you enjoyed it though, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye everyone.